What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode 62 of Park to Prem here with Town or Town. Today we have a double header special. Yes, we're going to be starting off with things against Ipswich Town. Away from home, we have a number of former Ipswich players, and following on from that, we have a game against Manchester City. Just a small little fixture on the side, I suppose. Since you were last here, we have played one game. It was against Ebbsfleet. You can see the score here. This is normally where I would show you the highlight, but it finished 0-0. I rotated things in the final third, and the rotated final third didn't produce any more goals than the regular final third would normally produce. Yes, you can see here Mampala, Ballo and McAllister not having the best of games, it would probably be fair to say. So with that draw, and that being the only game, this is how the league table looks. We currently sit in 4th place. There is a very compact table, it would be fair to say at this point. You have Ebbsfleet, who we drew against in 8th place. They're on 23 points, all the way up to Northampton in 2nd on 25 points. Now, when you look across this, you may notice we have played a few games fewer than teams in and around us, but one of the teams we take on today is one Ipswich Town. They have only lost 2 games all year. They currently sit in 6th place, and it is an absolute must-win game away from home. And well, when you glance at our recent form, you have to wonder, can we actually get a result, I suppose? It's not been good enough. In terms of team news, I guess the one silver lining we have here is that we're in a reasonable position when it comes to the actual squad. There's not too many injuries to speak of. We are going to need to rotate things in a few tiny little places. Smolio, I'm really tempted to chance on his injury. He's been out with pulled knee ligaments. Do I want to play him, or do I gamble on him being fit for the Manchester City game? Given the fact he's not our own player, I'm going to gamble it. But with that in mind, I'm going to take Sean McAllister off, and I am going to put a goalkeeper on the bench for once. So Okonkwo is going to be on the bench just in case of injury. In terms of the rest of the team, let's have a little bit of a run through, I think, because we've got 2 games today. There's not a great deal to cover because it's only been a week since you were last here. At left back, we have, of course, James Norris, a fan favourite in his own right, according to our staff. League 2 level player. He's been putting in some very good performances for this level at left back. 90 league games for the club. Obviously, the big element of his game is his pure pace. But to be honest, he's still a very, very good player for this level. Has technical ability going forward. Certainly his speed is what kind of underpins his overall ability. And whilst I would love his marking to be a little bit better, he does do a very, very good job for us, the left-back. In the centre-back positions, we're of course going to go with Gannon, the former Manchester United man, a player who is now in his 4th season at the club. And to be honest, he's just been getting better and better and better. And although the average ratings this season haven't been quite as good as previous years, they're not falling off a cliff by any means. It's not like he's hit his limit as a player. I do wish his heading was a little bit better, but obviously consistent, loves big matches. Still has the injury proneness that we've been warned about again and again and again. It's never really come and reared its ugly head. But forever we will live in fear that he could break his leg at any time. Alongside him, we've got Embleton, of course, on loan from Barnsley in his 2nd year at the club. Similarly to Gannon, had a very good year last year. This year has fallen just a little bit off the pace. His current contract, if I'm not mistaken, with Barnsley expires at the end of this year. So with that in mind, the opportunity may open up to sign him. You can see here, apparently we could sign him for between £190,000 and £500,000. I'm hoping that may lower as we get into January period, and he only has, 6 months left on his contract. Does have that similar element of just a lack of heading that kind of makes me worried about Gannon. So in some ways, you could look at him and say, maybe we should change things a little. But at least for now, obviously, we're going to go with these 2. Younger on the bench. There is an argument to say that Joseph Speed, who we've got on loan from Manchester United, could come in and do a job for us. He is unfortunately injured right now. You can see here the comparison between him and Embleton. So if we're unable to sign Paul, I will probably look to renew the loan of Joseph Speed going into next year. But at 18 years old, similar issue really. Great jumping, not so great heading. You can see here, inconsistent, injury prone. Certainly, just a few reasons, I guess, to be concerned. You can see here, we could probably afford his wages, but I imagine it would be the transfer fee, which would be a stumbling block to pry him away from Manchester United. Anyway, at right back, we're going to go with Rush. He missed a good chunk to the start of the year through injury, which was a real shame. Was out for 4 weeks with a twisted ankle at the start of September. Since then, he has dropped off just a tiny little bit as a player, but still at 24 years old, I think he's good enough for this level. I feel like I can't work out if I'm overvaluing how good some of our players are, or if our assistant just thinks that every single player is potato. But for me personally, I think Rush is very good. And I know all of our players have been listed as, League 2 quality, but ultimately, we're in a playoff spot in League 1, so clearly they can't be that bad. Anyway, in the centre of the midfield, we're going to go with Liam Coyle. Another player who's been out for injured to start the year. Another player who apparently is only National League quality. I mean, that is a load of rubbish, isn't it? I mean, let me know what you think of some of these players. Is my assistant high on something? But nevertheless, good, consistent performer. A little bit of a discipline issue, perhaps, but still, obviously a player we brought in on a free transfer. And to be honest, he's largely done the business. And another player who's certainly done the business is Andre Zell. What a season he had last year. Joined us in January, really ploughed us to the top of the table and helped us settle there. This year so far, similar to last year really, 7.31 average rating. He, like a few of the other players in the starting 11 for today's game, has had a few issues with injury. You can see a tight thigh and a pulled back muscle to start the year so far. But back in the team today, hopefully he can do the business for us. In the attacking midfielder positions, DKM is a player who I want to keep with. I want to stick, keeping faith with him, but he's not quite performing as I would like. 116 league appearances for the club, a terrific player, a fan favourite. I need him to start turning up. Maybe this is the kind of game he can start to really imprint himself into the team with. Anyway, on the right, we're going to go with Jack Perdue. I have been rotating things in the final third quite a lot. You can see here his average rating hasn't been the best. If we just look at where he's been playing best in terms of position, his best performances have come out on the right-hand side. So that is where we're going to play him today, and that is going to be with Jacobs playing down the middle. And Jacobs, I absolutely adore. I feel like he's criminally underrated. You can see here, he's listed as a League 1 quality player with potential to improve significantly in the future. At 21 years old, real good attacking talent. You can see here has had his best games playing down the middle, which is where he's going to play for us today. And of course up front we are going to go with the one, the only Leighton Stuart, a player who is massively punching above his weight, but a player who is just really well suited to the role that we play him in. As an advance forward, with the exception of his passing, he really has everything that you could want. A team leader in the dressing room, the club leading league goal scorer as well with 108. He has, to start this year, eclipsed Cumwenda's record previously of 100. So, yeah, fans adore him. I adore him. Great dribbling, great pace, and, he scores penalties for fun. 8 goals in 10 games to start this year. Not a bad start, it would be fair to say. So anyway, on the bench, we've got younger Kelly Evans, who, of course, is the youngster with some discipline issues on loan from Manchester United. Shuttleworth, CC, Okonkwo is going to come in, and Coyle, I need to see more of. I need to see him have an impact on off the bench. We'll see if he can do that for us today. Benny, my eyes are going to be on you if you come on. And also Mampala, who has got 6 goals to start the year. And, is providing that very useful player that I think every team needs, which is the striker who you can just throw on off the bench and he just seems to score goals for you. But anyway, enough of the longer introduction. I feel like it's good sometimes just to do a recap of some of the first team players. Let's get into today's game. We are taking on Ipswich Town in the first of 2 matches. They are 1 point behind us. They are playing a 4-1-4-1, an interesting formation. We'll have to see how we match up against it. They are a team who, I believe they've been stuck in League 1 for a number of years now. Certainly haven't been relegated recently. We'll keep a keen eye on Smolyo, who has got a little bit of an injury concern. Obviously, we'll hope he doesn't aggravate it ahead of the Manchester City game, which, if he was not to play in this game, he would probably win a fitness race to play in. Anyway, Jacobs bringing it forward with the banana boots, cuts inside on his left peg, hits it straight at the keeper. A golden opportunity to start things. The Towler faithful look distraught behind the goal. Can we maybe make something of the corner, though? Zell whips it in. It's headed away. Jacobs, to keep it alive, perhaps, down the line, is left-footed, so he's probably going to look to go back. Leaves it back to Liam Coyle, and now with Rush. We look to build from the back, and, well, it's the pointless highlight, everyone. I've been bamboozled. I was expecting something to happen, and nothing has, and now they have a set piece. Oh, my word. That header was not far over the crossbar. Ipswich Town, stern opposition, tricky opposition, especially given our recent form. This run of kind of 3 games against Leighton Orient, Ebbsfleet and Ipswich for me was really going to be the set of games that decided, could we really go for automatic promotion, or is the playoffs the best we can hope for? Given the fact we've lost 1 and drawn 1, we could do with a win here, and DKM has just glanced the post with his effort there. Needs to hit the target. You can see we have now dropped down to 6th position in the top left. Not going to panic just yet, but it's not great. What can we do here though? Purdue. Back inside, ball switched over to Norris with the pace. Whips it in, and not a good ball in either. Zach Gannon, can you provide a bit more quality? Goes back to Norris. What can you do, Norris? Look at him go, the Ginger Ninja. Down the left-hand side, whips it in. Jacobs is there. We've hit the woodwork. Again, I think, either that or it's gone narrowly over the crossbar. Either way, we are knocking on the Ipswich Town defensive door. We're trying to kick down that door and get a goal. But it does look like at half-time it's going to be 0-0. And having had 1-0 last game, I really don't want 2 0-0s in a row. The fans are not going to be happy. One of the board expectations is play entertaining football, and there is nothing entertaining about 0-0 draws. That is a certainty. Anyway, let's see what we can do here. An hour gone on the clock, and I feel like we need to make some changes. So I'm going to take off Stuart and bring in Mampala. I'm going to bring in Benny as well. And Coyle is going to come in at centre attacking mid. And I think, do I want to bring in CC? I do want to bring in CC. Let's see what Darko CC can do for us. The young Croatian international at youth level. At 18 years old, listed as one of our hot prospects. Has chipped in with a few goals. Could do with him doing something for us here today. We're on top in this game. I don't want to switch things and go very attacking, but there's a voice in the back of my head saying do it. Let's see if we can make some good. This set piece, Mampala, free header. The 2 Democratic Republic of Congo internationals, Mampala and DKM, linking up there. Unfortunately, the header, not very good at all. And while we could be called into some defensive action here as Ipswich Town bring it down their left-hand side. Costa whips it in. Smolio holds onto it. That was a heart-in-mouth moment, wasn't it? I was so scared the attacker was just going to get his head on the end of it. Now we look to build from the back. I've got to say, by the way, I know, and it's been a few episodes of the 3D kit. How nice is this kit? Not only in 3D, but just the overall design that we came up with the kind of black stripes, but then like the blue to white fade. I really like it. I want it to be a real kit. I feel like there's a way to make that happen, perhaps. It'd be really cool. I think we'd have some issues with the actual towel or badge, but something that I have been toying around with is the idea that maybe when we get to the Premier League, yes, I'm thinking that far ahead. Oh my word. Oh my, get it out. Minor heart attack moment. But when we get to the Premier League, we may switch up the badge, you know, modernise it a little. I feel like a club that's gone through so many promotions and stuff would naturally look to maybe update their brand a little bit, especially with a new owner. Either way, the worst possible outcomes happened here. It's finished 0-0. We had some talk for small talk. Smolio made some pretty essential saves for us. Our 2 centre-backs had the best performances on the pitch for our team, which is generally not the best of signs. But it's a draw, which away from home against Ipswich really isn't the worst result in the world. You know, we've had a lot of tricky away games to start the year, and we've, you know, held firm, I guess, against the likes of Ipswich. I know they had that one chance towards the end, but besides that, we've looked good. Looking at how results around us went, you could see Sheffield Wednesday, who were predicted to do big things, are still struggling a little bit, although they've got games in hand on the teams around them. You can see Ebbsfleet are a point ahead of us, but they have played 3 matches more, and in fact, everyone around us has played more games. So if we could win our matches in hand, we'd be in a good little position. You can see here, MK Dons got a vital win. Leighton Orient and Northampton drew against one another. Ebbsfleet won as well. And not many other results went our way. Obviously, we drew against Ipswich Town. Charlton beating AFC Wimbledon helps us out a little. Charlton, they look like they're in their own little league at the moment, don't they? So far ahead of everyone else, kind of trying to do a Liverpool of sorts. And who knows, they'll be 22 points clear in no time, I'm certain, at the rate that they're going. Anyway, we have got another game today, and I was weighing up, do I want to cut out the fluff between episodes, or do I want to just, you know, keep going? And you know what? I think we're just going to keep going. Hopefully the game behaves, because I have been experiencing some general slowdown, which I think does involve the fact that we are getting a little bit further into the future with the save game, but also My PC's getting old a little bit. It's not super old at this point. It's about 2.5 years old, but I put it through a lot. It renders videos pretty much every night, and it's playing Football Manager pretty much every day. I feel sorry for it in many ways. I'm probably overdue an upgrade, but well, that's nor here nor there. Anyway, the board wanted to get a senior affiliate, but we've not found one. Excellent. Thank you very much, board. At least we tried, I suppose. I'm tempted to go with the same team again for the next game against Man City. Just kind of give them a chance to redeem themselves. It's kind of what I believe to be our strongest 11. I might bring in Shuttleworth and Zell, actually, because Zell's done okay, but Shuttleworth has been in some really, really good form. You might have noticed, by the way, a new name here. Colin Henderson. I have promoted to the first team, but we're going to make him available for our under-18s. He's a very good player, 16, but he has low determination as a personality trait, which is not good at all. You can see here his potential could be very, 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 very good. So you might wonder, why is he in the first team then? The reason I've got him in the first team is because I wanted to plonk him in a mentoring group with a few, good players who should hopefully help out with his determination and just his general personality traits. I think I can probably remove Johnny Howard from this mix now because I don't quite have the same high hopes that I once had for Howard. He's still a player who kind of lingers around in the squad, but he's only played one match this year. When we signed him, there's a few players like this. When I signed them, I think released by Liverpool, bags of potential, could definitely do it for us. And then they just show no signs of improvement. And Howard kind of falls into that trap. You know, he's been at the club now for 4 years and made 12 appearances. He's the kind of player who will probably find himself demoted down to the under-23s at some point this year. Although he is still only 20 years old, so maybe I'm giving up on him too soon. But I don't know. Maybe I'm the only person who does this, but sometimes I just kind of pin my hopes on players who are just never really quite going to live up to the expectations that I have for them. The hopes and dreams I have for them are just a little too high, perhaps. Anyway, you can see here a few of our players out on loan doing well. Steve Chapman playing left back for Salford, assisted 2 goals. That's what you like to see from your fullback, isn't it? Worth noting that next episode, if you're wondering who are we going to be seeing next time, I think we'll do the game against Charlton, assuming we don't win in the EFL Cup. If we win that and we're into the quarterfinals, we'll find something else to do. But we have got games against the likes of Bristol Rovers, Crawley, Bradford, Coventry, Shrewsbury, Luton. These are all teams outside the top 10, outside of that immediate promotion hunt, and the kind of games that we should be winning with ease. We started the season well, and the general pattern this season feels like we quite comfortably dispatch the teams, in the lower half of this league. But against some of the bigger teams, we have struggled. That's not to say that draws against the likes of Ipswich and Ebbsfleet aren't bad results. I just feel like we need to win 1 or 2 more of those if we really want to get promoted. Of course, the win against Sheffield Wednesday a couple of episodes ago kind of still lingers in my mind as a really, really good result. But a few too many draws against teams around us where we really could do with beating them. You can see a few teams around us playing today, so this will be interesting to see if that changes the league table much. A few of those teams are ahead of us. But, well, for us, we've got to focus on this game here, and we're taking on Manchester City. I'm going to make some changes. I'm going to play some younger players just to give them some more experience. You can see here Darko Cece, as we've been naming him. Really, really high hopes for this guy. Is listed as our hot prospect. I mean, look at him. He's improved a ton. I've been training him to play centre attacking mid as a shadow striker, just because it covers a load of areas of his game, additional focus on passing, but I feel like he has such good physicals, it would be a shame not to make more of them, and he's been receiving quite good results when it comes to his training. Anyway, I'm not going to keep a Okonkwo here. We'll take him out, and I think we'll bring in Ballo onto the bench. I think we can also bring in Needham for Kelly Evans. I'm aware that I do have players like Stain still in the team, a very good player. We do also have the likes of Speed and Evans, who, as I've mentioned, probably would be upgrades on the first team, but I hate relying on loans. Maybe this is just me. I feel like loans as emergency backups is fine, but I don't like to pin my hopes too much on loan signings because I feel like you just kind of screw yourself over in the longer term. You're better off, focusing on developing players like CC and like Gannon, like Shuttleworth in the midfield, rather than, playing players who are going to be buggering off at the end of the year and then, not making the most of your own talent, I suppose. Anyway, Stuart's form in his last 5 games hasn't been good, so I'm also going to bring in Mampala. And with that in mind, I'm going to give you a little warning. Recent form, Leighton, has not been good enough. A small drought emerging. I guess that's reflected by the fact our last 2 league games have finished 0-0. But, well, mini mental reset. We're taking on Manchester City. They're not playing a rotated team. They've got some good players here. It might not quite be full strength, actually, looking at it. But make no mistake, this is a good team. They've got Esposito in the centre attacking, in the striker position. He's very good. He's very... Apparently, he's marketable. Well, excellent. Thank you for that. If we could manage to sign him, we could make 3.6 million off him. Excellent. They've got Ezekiel Barco out on the right, Guendouzi, Knight, who I believe is one of their youth academy prospects. He looks pretty good. 24 years old, has only played once in the league. Does look like there might be a little bit of rotation here. A few players who haven't played a great deal, but relatively speaking, it's still quite a strong team. So this is going to be a challenge. We're playing away from home at the Etihad. I'm going in the lowest of expectations. I want to continue to play our attacking brand of football. I would rather try and get the win than try and just, defend and hit them on the break once. It might be naive, it might be stupid. I don't feel like either are really going to yield that different a results today. But, well, let's see what we can do. I mean, I hope that in the next 10 years we'll be going toe-to-toe with Manchester City at the top of the Premier League. But right here and now, they are a league or 2 above us. Well, I mean, literally, they are a league or 2 above us. But they are, oh my gosh, small. I mean, that doesn't help, does it? That doesn't help. Let's just all close our eyes and pretend that Smolio didn't drop it. I mean, if anyone from Watford's watching, I'll happily sign him back from you. What was that goalkeeping? Ball whipped in by Bertrand. He's dropped it. He's just dropped the ball. I mean, he never makes a mistake. He's made one there. I guess it's better for it to happen against Man City in this competition than, say, in the playoff final or in the title-deciding league game. But nevertheless, that is kind of a bit of a gut punch, isn't it? Going to get shouty at the players and demand more. We've had 28% of possession, but we are set-piece specialists. And Mampala scores. It's 1-1. We're not here to make up the numbers. We are going to at least give our fans one thing to cheer about. We've had 20-something% of possession. It's not been a clinic so far, but Shuttleworth in. Mampala leaps like a salmon and may well be working his way into our first team plans. What a lovely header that was. Some appeals for offside, but you can see they're comfortably on. I mean, let's just savour that goal for what we can, although we're on the attack again, folks. I'm getting carried away. Coyle whips it in. DKM. Shuttleworth! Oh, I thought he was about to make it 2-1. I thought it was about to fly in, but it's gone over. They've now got a corner of their own. We are not good at defending corners. I think last episode I said I'd have a look at the team stats in the league for defending corners. I will try and remember at the end of this episode. If not, and I forget again because I am useless, it sometimes happens, I'm going to write it down on a notepad. Remind me in the comments. I will look at it at some point. It will probably be a case of I remember come the end of season review that I was meant to look at corners conceded. But it is an element of our game that is somewhat of a concern. Anyway, we've defended the last few here against Man City and we've managed to force them all the way back. So I guess that's okay. It's 1-1. Half an hour gone. We'll get a bit more shouty at the players. Coyle on a booking is very, very scary. I'm almost anticipating him to get sent off. May look to take him off come half-time. Needham is probably going to need to get ready and warm up. But at half-time, it's 1-1. I'm going to tell the players I'm not happy because I'm high expectations. We're bringing Needham for Coyle. I mean, you can see some of the thumbs up stuff here. We've completed 69% of passes. Nice. Right, let's get into this. We're going to make one sub just to avoid the immediate sending off. Probably for the best. No, my luck, Needham will now get a red card come the 63rd minute or something. But, at least for now, we're giving them a blooming game. It's the 63rd minute. Please don't get sent off, Needham. Still 1-1 here. We're giving them a game, everyone. If Smolio hadn't dropped the ball, it would be 1-0 to us. Although, that's not really how football works. Gannon, ball forward to CC. Lays it to DKM. What can you do? DKM crosses it. Mampala headed away to CC. I'm almost hoping now for the goal. I went in with no expectations. Those expectations have risen, although we've just given away the ball there and we could be in trouble. Look at Knight go. He's charging down. Smolio this time does kind of start a redemption arc of sorts. He makes a good little save down to his right. I think it should have been saved really. It was kind of straight at him. It wasn't a great finish. But he's done the business for us. Although we do now have a corner to deal with. Norris puts in a tackle. Can he use that pace to keep it in? He can. And, well, Gannon does what needs to be done. Puts it out. No nonsense here. I mean, the good news is every highlight seems to start with us having the ball in their half. The bad news is often us giving it away and then them bearing down on our goal, like Esposito did there. Jacobs has not had a good game out on the right. I'm going to bring in Turno Ballo. And you know what? I'm going to take off DKM and I'm going to bring in Nkololo. Let's give the Frenchman a chance to show us what he's made of out on the left. He's scored a few wonder goals already this season, Benny. When I say a few, I mean one. But a few. We'll say a few. It sounds better. Bertrand heads wide. Suddenly, with 18 minutes left, I've got a bit of hope. You know, that it's the most painful thing. The belief that something could still happen here. We've had 2 shots all game. We've had 43% of the ball now. Shuttleworth. Could we score another free kick? He whips it in. Gannon heads it. Oh, my word. That was an effort. That has just gone over. Wow, what a game so far. Does it go straight to penalties? It does. Oh, my word. Do I have good penalty takers? The answer is no. Right. I'm annoyed again because for some reason with this skin, Football Manager doesn't show the penalties for me, but it does for everyone else. Can we get off to a good start? Right, keep count with me, everyone, folks. 1-0 to us. We need some heroics, please, Smolyo. Unleash your inner Joe hands. Esposito steps up and shoots. It's 1-1 in the shootout after 1 each. Mampala scored in regulation. Can he get us another goal here? He steps up on his right foot, hits it, tucks it away, makes it 2-1. And, well, Manchester City, they're having to keep up with us right now. We are setting the tempo. Barcode to step up for them. Can we stop it? We can't. Smolyo goes the right way, but it finds its way in. So after 2 penalties each, it's 2-2. Now we turn to Needham. What can you do, Needham? He hits it. He scores it. 3 out of 3 for us. We can only keep doing that. Richards now. Smolyo in net. Make yourself big, mate. Make the save. Hits it straight into the bottom corner. 3 penalties each. 3 goals for each team. Now with Gannon, the giraffe on a unicycle. What can he do for us? He hits it. He scores it. It wasn't the best of penalties, but we'll take it. Now Bosma to step up for them. After this, if they score, it's pretty much sudden death. He steps up. He hits it. He scores it. Neither team has missed after 4 penalties, so we are essentially in sudden death now. Cece, pressure on the 18-year-old shoulders. What can he do for us? He hits it, he scores it. What a penalty that is. And while the pressure now builds on Manchester City, they need to score this. And we're going to have the extended highlight as Guendouzi steps up. Smolyo in his green camouflaged kit. Can he make a huge, huge stop for us? It's going to be the former Arsenal man to take the penalty. Smolyo, please do it for us. He hits it. He scores it. It's going to sudden death officially now. 5 penalties scored by either team. And now we turn to one of our centre-backs, Embleton. His partner, Gannon's already scored. Can Embleton follow suit? He hits it. It's saved. And that could be the dream dying right there. Oh, no. We now need a save from Smolyo. It's Harwood Bellis to take it. I'm going to be honest, I'm expecting him to bang this into the top right corner and for me just to feel sad. We've pushed them hard, we've pushed them far. Smolyo, no pressure, but if you could make something happen, it would be magical. He steps up. He hits it. Smolyo saves it. We are still in this, you big, big boy. Now with Shuttleworth, he assisted the goal in the 90 minutes. The Bolton boy himself. Can he score for us? He hits it. He scores it. The pressure goes back to Man City. After 7 penalties, we have scored 6. They have scored 5 out of 6. They are going to need 6 out of 7. And a goal here from Bertrand. Suddenly it's changed. As Smolyo just pulled us out from nowhere and given us a chance here against the Premier League big boys. Bertrand steps up. Come on, Smolyo. Make another save for us. He hits it straight into the bottom corner. We could end up with the goalkeepers taking penalties at this rate. It's now on Rush. Can he score? The right back steps up, hits it, the keeper stops it. We need another saviour, Smolio. You pulled a rabbit out of the hat before. At this point now, we need a tank out of your hat. We need something bigger than a rabbit. Can he find it? Moynes to take it for them. This is a long highlight and a long pause. I am nervous. Please, boys. No expectations again, but if we could keep in it, it would be huge. Smolio in goal. Moynes steps up and he scores it. And with that, it's a heartbreaker defeat, but we pushed them really blooming hard. I would rather go to Manchester City and try and win the game, even if it means losing like that, than play defensive and, you know, just get absolutely hammered. If Smolio doesn't drop it, we're through. In the end, they get through on penalties, which is absolutely heartbreaking. Rush missing the crucial one. I don't feel like you can blame your right back too much for missing a penalty. I did just see there some interesting results actually in League One. So MK Dons beat Charlton for their first defeat of the year. That moves MK Dons into second place. Northampton lost against Coventry, so they stay fourth. Bradford lost against Oxford. That one doesn't matter too much. Leighton Orient beating Sheffield Wednesday as well. So they are going very strong too. And that does put a little bit of pressure on us now to string together a couple of wins in this next run of matches that we have in the month of November. Man, I feel a little heartbroken after that game. A little heartbroken. That penalty defeat is so harsh. We pushed them hard, but ultimately, when you're relying on a guy with 4 penalty taking, 4 finishing, and 12 composure to take a penalty, you can't really expect a great deal. We did well though. We did well. I've got to look at the silver linings, and that is the one that I have to cling on to. But anyway, that is going to wrap up today's episode from me. I'm going to go lay down, have a cry. We will be back at the end of November for a game against Charlton. I'm aware that we do also play MK Dons, so maybe we'll do that as another double header. This episode's already been quite long, so that's why I don't necessarily love doing a load of double headers across a season. But I do feel like they could be 2 fairly big games. Of course, knowing my luck, an international set of games will come up and everything will be rejigged anyway. But we've got those games on the horizon. We'll be back for one of them, I'm sure, if not both. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you made of that performance. No win in our last 4, but plenty of reasons I feel like to remain optimistic. See you tomorrow, folks. It's me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.